Magic mirror in our hand, who's got the most powerful magic in all the land? In this video, we're going to break down all the magical powers on the Isle and in Auradon. Watch until the end to find out who has the most powerful magic in the entire kingdom and all across the Isle of the Lost. Evie. Evie doesn't actually have magical powers, but her magic mirror does. We all know from the Disney classic movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that the evil queen has a magic mirror. Every day she asks the mirror,
"Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?"
It used to respond with the answer that the evil queen is the most beautiful in the kingdom. But then one day it said that her stepdaughter, Snow White, was the fairest of all. This made the queen insanely jealous, so she set out to destroy her. In Descendants, the evil queen gives Evie her magic mirror, which has been reduced to the size of a hand mirror. She tells Evie to use the mirror to help her, and the other villain kids steal Fairy Godmother's wand. The mirror still has the ability to answer questions. At first, fans thought the mirror only answered questions if they were asked in a rhyme, such as, "Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the biggest jerk in the land?" But when Evie has to answer a tough question in science class, she brings the mirror with her to the chalkboard. She asks a question that doesn't rhyme and gets an answer. So how will Evie use the magic mirror for Descendants 3? Will she use it to locate Hades? Or maybe she'll use it to reflect the evil magic that's being used to turn everyone to stone back onto the villain.
Evie, mirror me.
That means that Evie has the power to turn the villain into stone and save Auradon. Fairy Godmother.
The fairy godmother? As in bippity boppity boo?
Fairy Godmother has a lot of magical powers, but she needs her magic wand to cast spells. Fairy Godmother's wand was locked away in the museum in the first Descendants movie, but at the beginning of the Descendants 3 trailer titled Mal's Darkness, it appears that the wand is in Fairy Godmother's hand when she walks up behind Mal and Ben. We know from the mystery trailer that someone stole the crown and Maleficent's scepter from the museum. If the wand had been in the museum, it could have been stolen too, but there's no mention of the magic wand in any of the D3 trailers. So if Fairy Godmother has the wand, she has a lot of magical powers at her fingertips. One fan theory is that she's the one who cast the sleep spell on Auradon, just like the fairies did in Sleeping Beauty. For more on that theory, check out our video Descendants 3 New Theories. The magical powers of the wand allow the person holding it to do pretty much anything they want. All they have to do to summon those powers is say the phrase bibbidi bobbidi boo. So will Fairy Godmother be the one to cast the sleep spell in Descendants 3? Or will her wand get stolen and used to perform the big sleep? Uma. Uma is the daughter of the powerful sea witch Ursula. Since they've been stuck on the Isle, they don't have access to magic. But as we saw it in Descendants 2, Uma can use her sea magic if she gets past the barrier of the Isle. She talks about being a good swimmer at the coronation. The reason for her superior swimming abilities is because she has the power to transform into a Celia, a half-human, half-octopus, while in the water. We know from the mystery trailer that Uma will be transforming into a Celia again in Descendants 3. This is a pretty amazing power. Uma is the only villain kid besides Mal to be able to transform into a magical creature. There's one other person who will transform come the threequel, but we'll get to that later in the video. So back to Uma. We know from Under the Sea, a Descendants short story, that Uma has her mother's shell necklace.
Dizzy. What, are you glowing?
Not only can the shell necklace capture voices, but it can also transform whoever wears the necklace into what appears to be a different person. Uma uses the necklace to look like Dizzy in Under the Sea. This is similar to the time that Ursula used the necklace to transform into Vanessa and trick Prince Eric into falling in love with her in The Little Mermaid. It's highly likely that we'll see Uma using the necklace again in Descendants 3. Dr. Vasily. Dr. Vasily is an evil voodoo doctor from Disney's The Princess and the Frog. In the movie, he thinks that he's able to read a person's future and even change it. He uses his tarot cards to show a person who they truly want to be, and he can change a person's appearance by using a talisman with a drop of blood from the person he wants to impersonate. And let's not forget that he's got friends on the other side. He uses his influence on the Shadowland to help him swindle and trick the folks in the living realm.
Tip of the hat from Dr. Vasily.
From what we've gathered after putting all the pieces together from the D3 trailers, Dr. Vasily may have Hades locked up. He has shackles on his ankles, so we know he's been locked up somewhere. If Dr. Vasily was the one to lock up Hades, he must have found a way to be more powerful than the god of the underworld, which makes him pretty powerful indeed. So when will he make his big appearance in D3? And how will he use his magical powers? Celia Vasily. Celia Vasily is the villain kid of Dr. Vasily. Looking at the trailers, it's unclear if Celia is evil like her father or if she turned good like Malin and her Isle of Misfits crew. In the mystery trailer, we hear the voice of a young girl saying a great evil will have their revenge and all in Auradon will pay, followed by a wicked laugh. They show Celia looking rather menacing. So is she good or evil? Is she using her tarot cards to predict the future like her father? At the end of the trailer, we see her throw the tarot cards up in the air. The cards fall all around her as suspenseful music plays. In Threat to Auradon, Celia appears to be standing next to Mal as she opens the gate to Hades' prison. It remains to be seen whether Celia is helping Mal or trying to trick her. We know Celia's dad is very tricky. Is Celia going to be like her dad? And does she also have shadow friends on the other side? The mystery trailer makes her look kind of evil, but maybe Disney is just trying to trick us. Ben. One of the most shocking reveals from the Descendants 3 trailers is that Ben transforms into a beast, just like his dad did all those years ago. Many fans were wondering if he would become a beast like his dad, but it does seem rather odd considering his dad only became a beast because of a curse that was placed on him by a witch. Ben has always been a very nice person.
Tomorrow after the coronation, I promise everything will be okay.
So who would curse him to suffer the same hairy fate as his dad? Maybe the person who turns Ben into a beast is the same person who stole the scepter. But we'll get to her in a minute. Ben doesn't really have any magical powers unless you count the power of empathy and awesome leadership qualities. But he is the victim of some magical spell or curse in Descendants 3. Wait, we just had a thought. What if Ben does have the power to transform himself into a beast at will? Could some of his dad's DNA have been permanently altered when he was turned into a beast? Maybe that DNA made it into Ben. Maybe he's got cool werewolf-type powers that he's able to use to fight the evil that threatens Auradon. It could happen, you guys. I mean, anything's possible in D3. Audrey. From the mystery trailer and previously leaked set pictures, we're all pretty sure that Audrey has turned evil and stolen the crown and Maleficent's scepter from the Museum of Cultural History. We saw her cackling in the woods with a terrified Chad Charming in the pictures. And we see her silhouette walking towards some mysterious cottage in the woods while holding the scepter. Audrey didn't have any magical powers when we saw her in the first Descendants movie. She seemed a little bitter, but that's not a magical power.
Grammy, I don't think you want to be talking to this girl. Unless you feel like taking another 100-year nap.
In the mystery trailer, Audrey is shown with light blonde hair only to be later showcased sleeping in bed with her grandmother by her side and Hades looming over her. So what kind of mysterious trouble did Audrey get herself into? We know from Disney's Maleficent's Revenge that Maleficent can use her magic scepter to turn people into stone. Maleficent storms into Prince Philip and Aurora's anniversary celebration and curses the whole kingdom, turning everyone into stone. So now that Audrey has the scepter, it's highly likely that she's the one with the magical power to turn all of the people of Auradon into stone. So will Audrey become a powerful sorceress in Descendants 3? That remains to be seen. Hades. In Disney's Hercules, Hades is the blue flame-haired god of the underworld who is holding a major grudge against the gods. His story sort of parallels Maleficent's. He's all bummed out about not being included in the celebration of the birth of Hercules, so he summons up the Titans to take over Mount Olympus and overthrow Zeus. Maleficent and Hades should start a support group to talk about their feelings of rejection. Anyhow, we don't know much yet about Hades in Descendants 3, except that he's been locked up and that he could be Mal's father. In the mystery trailer, we see that Hades has a blue jewel called Hades Ember. He uses the jewel to zap a magical beam out from the hole in the barrier on the Isle. We also know that Hades' Ember is the only thing more powerful than Maleficent's scepter. So there is a quest to get the Ember and stop the evil that's turning everyone to stone. Our question is, does Hades only have magical powers when he's in possession of the Ember? Or can he do magic the way he did in the Hercules film? We'll just have to wait until D3 comes out to see what Hades is capable of. Mal. Mal is the daughter of Maleficent and most likely Hades. She has the ability to cast spells out of her spellbook, but her biggest power so far is her ability to turn into a dragon like her mom. She doesn't even need a scepter to transform, which means she actually possesses this power. That alone is pretty incredible. But if Hades is really Mal's dad, she may have even more powers from his side that she hasn't tapped into yet. Like we said before, it's unclear whether Hades actually possesses magical powers in the Descendants world, or if he needs that blue ember in order to do magic. But if he does possess powers the way he did in Hercules, then Mal is going to be more amazing than ever in D3. She'll be half goddess. That means she'll probably have godlike powers. Imagine a dragon with godlike powers. She's gonna be unstoppable. Her half-god status would make her the most powerful person in all of Auradon. So will she use that power for good? Or will she always be just a little rotten to the core? Is anyone else bursting with anticipation to see D3? Leave a dragon emoji in the comments if you can't wait for the magical threequel. And that was every magical power in Descendants 3 Explained. If you love Disney's Descendants as much as we do, be sure to subscribe to our channel to be the first to see our latest D3 videos. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching The Things. We'll catch you next time.